Hello everyone. Today we are going to study about view in SQL. In SQL, a view is a virtual table based on the result set of a select statement. We have learned about select statement in a previous lesson to retrieve a certain data from a single or multiple tables. The result from the select statements will store in a virtual table. We call it view. A view contains rows and columns just like a real table. The fields in a view are fields from one or more real tables in the database. You can think of views as store queries from the select statement. A view always shows up-to-date data. The database engine recreates the view every time a user query it. It will always up to date. Views allow us to hide data or limit access to a select number of columns. Therefore, they can also be used for security purposes. A view can be created to simplify complex queries. For example, if we want to retrieve the order report, the complex queries in our select statement can be simplified using view by storing the result of it in the view. Later, when we want to retrieve the select statement, we just select from the view, just like select from the table. In SQL, a view is a virtual table from a select statement that retrieves the data from the base table that is the real relation in the database. It is different from the real table that the real table stores the physical data in the hard disk, while there are no data actually stored. Instead, data from the base table made available to users in the view based on the actual select statement on base tables or other views. So we can create view that based on the result from actual select statement on base table or from other views. There is no data actually stored in the view. There are some advantages of view. First, the simplification of complex query. View can encapsulate complex join and subqueries, make it easy to retrieve data from the complex query. Second, the security. Views can restrict user access to specific columns or rows in a table. For example, we store all information about employees in the employee tables, but we can retrieve only specific columns, for example, their ID, their name, and store it in the view. Later, we can retrieve from this view for the information or public information of employees. Third, data abstraction. View can provide a level of data abstractions over the underlying table structures and data, and this will restrict access to specific columns or rows for security purposes. Number 4. Logical data independence. Applications can be insulated from changes in the schema by using view. It will provide user controls access to the base table. Now let's take a look at view in MySQL workbench. We will take the DB product as an example. In the DB product, we have several tables. We can retrieve the data from the table using the select statement. Select star from table customer. The table will store the physical data. We can create a view, which is a virtual table from the result of select statement. So let's create the view, customer view, to store the basic information of customer. We can run it, create view, customer view as select ID, name, city from customer. After we creating the view, customer view, we can query the view just like querying the table. We can run select star from customer view. And we can find the view that we have created on the view sections under the table. The view is different from the table. The table we store the physical data, and in the view we can derive specific columns from the table, and it does not store the physical data. Instead, the data is derived from the base table customer. When we check the table customer, we see the table size of the table, the physical data stored inside the table.